Well, hello, mom friend, and welcome back to the Toddler Mom Diaries podcast. I appreciate your comments and just the feedback that you've been leaving me regarding the podcast. It blesses me to know that you are being blessed. You can leave me a 5-star review on iTunes. Now, I am excited to get right into today's topic. We are going to be talking about life-changing mom hacks that make every day smoother. For me, I have 2 little ones, right? So it makes every day smoother for me as a mom of 2 littles. Now, before we get into that, I do have a few announcements because I want to make sure that you are filled in, girl. I want to make sure that you know what's been happening. Thank you for your grace. As you probably noticed, there were a few weeks, a couple months back, where I was not able to post every Monday as I usually do. And that is simply because, if you didn't know, earlier this year, I gave birth to my son. And we went right from, giving birth 2 months later, hopping in the car and driving cross country to relocate. And so you already know, when you have little ones, you have a whole family and you're doing all of those life-changing things, you just need a little time to get it together. So thank you for your grace. I know that I was a little MIA during that season, and that is why I wanted to make sure you knew. But I do plan to kind of get back into my rhythm and make sure that you guys have your podcasts every Monday morning. The other thing that I want to let you know is that the toddlermomdiaries.com website, in a nutshell, let me just say it, that there was a whole hack situation and I'm pretty much having to start over and move things so that everything is all good. If you notice broken links, sorry, girl, but that's what happened. That is why there are broken links. So that is in the process, but I wanted to let you know. Oh, one more thing. We are going to be starting a new season of Toddler Mom Diaries. Woohoo! I was so excited. We are going to be moving into season 2 in this season of my life. Personally, there have been so many things that the Lord has been downloading into my heart and teaching me and showing me. And I've been implementing these things. And I'm just so excited to share with you what He is giving me to share with you. So next episode, Lord willing, the next episode will be the beginning of season 2. So excited. And we're going to be just talking about a lot of the things that we talk about now, but kind of just really drilling down and focusing on how we can be good stewards over these things that the Lord has given us within, our own personal lives and bodies, our marriages, as mothers with our children in our homes, and really just looking at how can we live this life for the Lord and honor Him, and also really enjoy and thrive in what He has given us. So stay tuned because I'm excited. So let's get into why you came here today. We are talking about life-changing mom hacks that are going to make your day smoother. You already know, life be lifing, okay? So I wanted to share with you some things that I do to really make it a smooth and amazing journey, and I really am thoroughly enjoying it. And so without further ado, whether you have 2, 3, 4, 1, it doesn't matter how many babies you have, I'm sure that you will find something that is a blessing to you here. Write it down, make a mental note, and use it, girl. I promise you, something in this podcast is going to bless you today. Okay. Have you ever been in a situation where you wake up in the morning, you feel like you're in a whirlwind, you're trying to get the breakfast, trying to clean up, you got to change the diaper, you've got little ones running around, and then you realize, like, I need to do something different. This ain't working. Right? I'm sure we've all been there. We've all had a moment where it's like, this is not cute. I'm not, I'm not feeling this, right? And when you are feeling that way, you've got to make some adjustments. And so here are some adjustments that you can make. Establish a daily structure and routine. Okay. Establish a daily structure and routine. Like I said, I've talked a lot about this, I feel, extensively, because this is really important to me. And I think it's so helpful and life changing if you establish a daily structure. If you notice that your kids are just like running wild and free and it's just a little too much for you, hone in on structure. Give them some structure, and structure looks different for everybody. Structure could be you have literally a schedule. That's personally what I recommend. I've started doing like a little bit of a homeschool situation where we have something that we're doing every day. Now, the great thing is when they're young, you have a lot of flexibility there, but for the most part, I always have something, right? There's always something. Having some structure is going to really help you out. Again, you don't have to do the homeschool thing. You can have specific activities that are laid out for your children where you have little buckets or little bins of different activities, different toys, different crafts, different coloring sheets. And you, whenever you need it, pull it out. Or at certain times of the day, you pull it out. Or at 12 o'clock, it's nap time or whatever the case is. Have some structure, okay? Have a routine or multiple routines throughout your day. You know what to do, girl. We talked about this before. Number 2 is going to be to wake up before your kids. Again, I've talked about this before. It is so valuable when you wake up before the kids. I notice on the days that I don't do it, it's easier to find myself on the struggle bus. On the days that I do it, I am on top of the world. Like, it is an amazing day. Okay. So make sure that you wake up before the kids. That is your time. That is your time to pour into yourself, to do whatever self-care you need to do. Sometimes it's just nice to go to the bathroom without anybody following you inside. Okay. Have that moment to do what you need to do. Wash your face without little hands touching your leg, right? Whatever it is. Make sure that you have that time. Self-care, spend time with God, read your Bible, listen to a podcast or a sermon or some worship music or whatever it is that you need to do. Get a head start on the tasks that you have assigned for the day. It will change your life. Okay. Number 3, give your kids some responsibility, especially depending on the age of your children, 1, 2, 3, and on. They definitely can take responsibility. Depending on the age of the child will determine how much responsibility you can give. But you can give them, like, put their little plates and bowls in an area where they can reach them, and you can say, okay, go get your bowl. It's time for snack. Or, put snacks in an easily accessible location and teach them discipline and help them to understand, like, you can't just go in here and get it when you want it, but unless that's how your house runs. But you can say, hey, like, make sure you ask me before you have snack. And when it is snack time and I say that you can have some, you can go down there and get your own snack. Or teach them where to put their dirty clothes. Teach them how to make their bed. Teach them how to clean their room. Giving them this responsibility gives them autonomy and they are excited to help. And also it takes some stuff off your plate. Okay. Number 4 is to spend quality time with your kids. Kids love attention, let's be honest. And more importantly, they love your attention. And I think that we live in a time where parents are just not giving their kids the attention that they need and deserve because we are distracted with all these other things, right? There's the TV and the iPad and the telephone and all the things, all the things. But kids need our attention. And so you want to make sure that you're every day giving them your undivided attention. Depending on your schedule, how much time you're able to give, it varies. But make sure that you put the phone down, okay? Turn the TV off and just spend time with them because they need it. And if you don't do that, you'll find that usually kids will misbehave because some attention is better than no attention. If you're not going to give them positive and loving and affirming attention, they'll take the negative and they'll act out and act a hot mess because you'll definitely give them some attention then. Okay. Number 5 is to serve real food. This right here, when we dive into like the food and what's in the food and all that, there's so much to unpack, but we're not doing that today. But I do want to say serve real food. Why? Because you're going to notice a difference. When I say real food, I'm saying like not ultra processed foods, not things that come in boxes, not things that are just sitting on the shelf and can sit there for weeks at a time. We want real food. We want fruits. We want vegetables. We want meats. Whatever your diet, whatever you have going on in your diet, make sure that you're eating real food because this is going to help you feel good in your body, and it's also going to help your children feel good in their body, and it's going to play a really major role in what their behavior is like. Now, remember, I was a classroom teacher for years. I've seen the kids who had a Monster energy drink for breakfast, the Takis for breakfast, the little mini powdered donuts for breakfast. I've seen it, and it's a whole mess. The whole day, they are a hot mess. And it's really hard to manage those types of behaviors because you've got sugars and you've got oils and you've got dyes and you've got all these things that really interfere with their behavior. And it just doesn't make the day smooth. Okay. But when you give your child healthy, whole foods, fruits and vegetables and meats and good proteins, they're going to feel good in their body and they're not having those random toxins and chemicals interfere with their behavior. Your child, that behavior might change if they're currently eating a bunch of Oreos and Cheetos all day. Okay. And you'll feel it too. You'll feel the difference. If you really go really real food, you will feel the difference in your body as well. Next one, plan the outfits the day before. Your outfits, your kids' outfits. If you have somewhere to go and you plan your outfits the day before, it's going to make your morning so much more smooth. have the clothes, the undergarments, the accessories, whatever it is that you need for that day. Make sure that it is like you have an idea, like, okay, I'm going to wear this and she's going to wear that and he's going to wear that. And oh, I need to make sure I have these hair bows. And oh, I need to make sure I have these diapers. Like whatever it is that you need, think about it the night before so that when the morning comes, you can just go, okay, I need this, I need this, I need this. Instead of sitting there thinking, oh, what's the weather? What do I need? Oh man, that's dirty. I thought, like, we don't have time for that. Okay. Plan your outfits the day before. And on that track with planning your outfits the day before, plan your meals too. I feel like we talked about meal planning before, and we can get into that again on a different day, but at least think about your breakfast, lunch, and dinner the night before. So before you go to bed, think, what are we going to have for dinner tomorrow? Do I need to take out any meats from the freezer? Do I need to soak any beans or wash any produce or whatever, right? Think that through so that when the day comes, your meat has already been thawed. And you're not like, oh my gosh, the meat is frozen. What, we have to order a pizza, right? Think about it the day before. I like to also think about breakfast and lunch the day before too. Just makes it easy for me the next morning. If I know, okay, we're going to have some scrambled eggs and some fruit and some, sausage or whatever. And I wake up in the morning like, okay, this is what I'm gonna make, instead of standing there trying to figure it out. Okay. So yes, that will help you as well. This is number 8. Teach your family that everything has a home. And I've mentioned this before. A lot of these are like things that I do and they just still are working for me. Teach that everything has a home. That means that the toys belong in a toy box. And listen, it doesn't have to be super aesthetic like you see on social media. It doesn't have to be super expensive with matching acrylic whatevers. Like you can literally go to the dollar store for $1.25 and get little bins, little pop-up bins or little containers, and you say, okay, this is where your toys go when you are done playing with your toys in the living room, or when you're done playing with your toys in your room. They always go in this basket. And then when it's nighttime, clean up your toys. All those toys go in the basket, right? And that's with everything. Toothbrushes should have a home. Shoes should have a home. Purses should have a home. Like all the things should have a home. Okay. So that's going to help things. That way you're not going to lose things. Like the remote, we don't lose the remote. Why? Because it has a home. We know where it goes. We're not using it. We put it where it belongs, right? With all things, give everything a home. It doesn't have to be super complicated. You don't have to buy a home for everything that you own. It can be something as simple as socks always go in the nightstand. Toothbrush always goes in the medicine cabinet. Clothes always go in the closet. Pots and pans always go in the cabinet. Like, it's simple. Just make sure everything has a home, and make sure that your family is helping you put everything back in its home, especially before you guys go to bed every night. Number 9, have some mom reset moments every day. Every day you want to have a mom reset moment. This means that you want to make sure that you are taking time for yourself. Now, we talked about in the morning is a great time to do that. When you wake up in the morning, you have some time, okay? But throughout the day, plug it in. Even if it's 5 minutes, it makes a difference. Even if it's 10 minutes, it makes a difference. If you can get an hour, girl, that is a blessing. It really just depends on what your day looks like. But make sure you have these moments, especially if you're home with your kids all day. You have to have these moments. Even if you're working though, if you're working full time and your kids were at school or wherever they go, and then y'all are all home together, you still might need a little moment, just because that's a lot. You have a lot going on. But take some time to yourself, even if it's nap time. Bedtime is another great one, just to have some you time, because you really need that time just to kind of relax and decompress and just get yourself together. Take a break mentally, emotionally, physically. It's necessary. All right, number 10. We're going to create a quiet time, like a bedtime quiet time routine. Or you can call it a wind down routine, but just a time where before bed, your kids have an opportunity to bring it down on their bodies. And one way that you can do this, you're going to have to teach it and train it. I've done this with my daughter, and you can literally add a routine on the spot. We just added this routine, and we love it. It's great. I have a song come on. She has a hatch where a color and a song come on. I have it scheduled to come on at the same time every day. She knows when it's on. She goes to her room. She reads a book. She can play. Whatever she does, it needs to be in her room and it needs to be quiet. What does this do? It keeps the house calm and quiet. There's not any after dinner